Where you at, SpoFi community? Welcome to episode 1 of the JockChain, where we're going to be talking sports on the blockchain. This is episode 1 of our new show on the SpoFi HQ podcast and media network. We're going to have a series of shows, this being one of them. And we thought the JockChain just kind of was an all-encompassing name and brought it all together. So to kick us off with our, should I call it Genesis episode, since we're talking NFTs, Tyler, what's the plans for this episode? What are we going to be hitting on today?
Right. So the plans for today are just to talk about, the long-term goals and, what kind of content we want to produce with this show. Finally, the rookie badges are here on NBA Top Shot. A little bit of a recent dip in the marketplace. Some people might be discouraged. We'll talk a little bit why we're a little bit more bullish long-term. And then talk a little bit about the challenges. There's 6 active challenges going on right now, 7 if you count the little master challenge. So talk a little bit about some of the ones that we're partaking in and go from there.
Yeah, we actually have a little bit of a team put together that's working on this Cool Cats Master Challenge, totally playing by the dapper rules that they set out.
It's a conglomerate. It's a conglomerate.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But one thing too, and once we get some packs, we'll be able to open up some packs on live stream. And the main goal here is to get some folks really engaged. Like I said in the intro episode, we want to build a community. So right off the bat, any comments you guys have, any questions, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section, but also want to hear from you in real life. So we'll bring you on. We'll have conversation about it all, and we'll take it from there. So let's start talking about the rookie badges. It's been pretty hyped up. It was a long time coming. They finally showed up, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit let down. It's a little bit underwhelming. I don't know if I like the placement of it, the color scheme. I just got to get used to it. It'll take me some time. What are your initial thoughts on the badges?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you just got to get used to it a little bit. I don't think could be a little better, but I'm not the most graphics, kind of guy. But I don't mind them. The placement, I agree. I like being able to see it on the marketplace. But I think you could almost incorporate it like into the picture, almost like underneath the moment instead of, underneath all the information. But I don't mind them. I don't mind them. I'm a little bit more bullish on them than you are.
Yeah, I just think, and for what it's worth, I have a little bit of a background in the actual cardboard scene. I love Topps baseball cards, and I just think it's so clean how they do it on a Topps baseball card, where it says it's just a little RC designation on the face of the card, and it's a little bit, if you're not looking for it, you might miss it. And so part of what I didn't like, just to show you one here, if we click on Sam Merrill, part of what threw me off a little bit about these badges when they initially dropped is when the moment starts playing, the badges actually pop up here, and it was a little bit distracting at first. And I find myself, what's the star? What's the cube? It may have just gotten a little bit too cute, whereas again, I'm a little bit used to the, just a simple little badge here. What do you think in terms of value? We actually saw once the badges came out, a little bit of dip. People were buying the hype. But as soon as they came out, it went down. So what is your take on the value that these badges add?
Right. And that's something that we've talked about a lot is, are the badges baked in already? You saw once the initial announcement came out from Top Shot that they were going to be adding these badges, rookies skyrocketed. And then they put out a blog like 2 weeks later reminding people that the badges are coming, and they skyrocketed again. I think that's just the nature of how reactive the Top Shot marketplace is. So it's kind of hard to tell. I was under the impression that the prices were fully baked in, and that's why we kind of saw a little bit of a dip shortly after. I think the day before we saw the rookies go up a little bit, and then afterwards, I don't know if that's people trying to cash in, people, trying to sell high, but that's kind of what we saw, where the prices came back down to earth. But I think long term, I'm bullish on rookies. Like obviously they're one of the more coveted, things that you can attack in Top Shot, and I think we're going to see a gentle incline from here on out.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the incline from here on out. I was hoping that the hype would continue again, right? We had the initial announcement, um, and then Dapper kind of gave us another little hint. Even though we already had all the information, they gave us another hint, maybe a month or so ago that, hey, reminder, badges are coming. Boom. And then they said badges coming by the end of March. Boom. And then the badges came and nothing really happened. So
Right.
I personally, I bought a few rookies that I was hoping to sell at some point down the line, and I do still think it will grow. Short term, it didn't happen like I thought it would. Long term, it absolutely will matter. These badges will have value, and people are going to be looking after them, especially for the guys who continue to prove themselves over their career. Right now with Top Shot, we either have rookies or vets. The 2-year guy, the guy who's been in the league for 2 years, 3 years, whatever, looks just like, Andre Drummond does on
Right.
Top Shot, and some of the other guys who have been in the league for a long time. But a guy who's 5 years into his career, whose rookie badge is still accessible on Top Shot, it's definitely going to matter as we go. Question for you here, though. Take a look at Peyton Pritchard. This is the coveted 3-badge rookie moment where you have, this is minted in their rookie year. It's from their first game, and it's in their, well, I forget what the third one is. It's actually from their rookie season, and then it's their first moment on Top Shot.
Yeah, right.
So you see, it's kind of this all-encompassing badge, and then Top Shot. Now this Compazzo, it's not from his first game, but it was minted in his rookie year and from his rookie season. This has 3 badges, if you will, compared to this one's 2. Does that bother you at all? I know there's talks on Twitter about that.
I don't know that it bothers me. I think I'd rather see. I like more how the 3-in-1 is combined. Like I'd rather either be a 3-badge rookie or a 2-badge rookie. Because if it's a 2-badge rookie, it has to be minted rookie year, and it has to be from his rookie season. It can't be his debut game if it's only a 2-badge. So I think I'd like to see the 2-badge, the 3-badge, or just 1 badge.
Yeah, I think they did. They put one too many badges in there. And I understand why they did it, to show some love back to the guys in the Run It Back series that they might be minting from their rookie season, but also to distinguish those guys from moments that were actually created in their rookie season. I get all of that, but I personally think the first Top Shot moment badge looks pretty clean. It's just one. Right. It's just the blue. I don't know. When you start, what's the star mean? What's the cube mean off the top of your head without looking at the little key? It gets a little confusing.
Right. And I think the reason they did that, and I'm just thinking long term, they made the rookie badges all the same color scheme. So that's why I'm thinking long term, we're going to see badges for, if, Giannis has his moments from last year, they add an MVP badge or, something like that, or, a badge whenever somebody crosses a milestone, things like that. I think we're going to see they're going to be color coded. I think that's why the rookies were all color coded the same way.
I like the way you think. I would love to see a retroactive MVP badge where every moment from a player's MVP season gets thrown on there, or, your team wins the finals that year. Every moment that was minted in that season gets a finals badge thrown on it.
Right. And I've seen some chatter on Twitter about people not, really liking the aspect of badges as a whole. They don't want it to get too in depth. But for me, I kind of welcome it. I think it just makes everything cleaner, easier to see on the marketplace. And I think it would make the moments that you own a little bit more valuable to the general public as opposed to the hardcore collector, because the hardcore collectors are going to know, what moments are, special and why they're special. But whenever they're actually visible on the marketplace, I think that will make it a little bit more accessible to the new users and somebody that's not as hardcore.
I got to hit on something you said there, and this can be a little sneak peek for a future episode. You mentioned special moments, and the hardcore collector might be able to pick out a moment that's a little more special than, just the most recent moment. We've been working on some special moments. We have some theories going on behind the scenes. We have been investing in a few that we think over time could have a little bit more weight than they have now because of the magnitude of the moment. and things like that. So stay tuned. We'll put out a list. This is not financial advice. We're not keeping anything behind the curtain. You know what I mean? So we'll share that information with you guys. Just got to stay tuned. So let's talk about the recent dip as a whole. You know, the badges came out and the rookies kind of dipped, but that's not anything different than what we're seeing in the market as a whole. We had this giant spike in February, and ever since then, it's been coming back down to earth. We've had, you know, markets do what markets do, but for the most part, every day seems to be dipping a little bit more and more. What is your initial take on that? What are you doing? Are you looking to sell? Are you looking to buy? What's going on?
Well, to me, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. You know, we got in middle of January, so we kind of were able to ride that first spike and, you know, really build the account value. And then, you know, we also rode it the wrong way.
Totally skilled timing, by the way. We did that on purpose. So.
Correct. Yeah. And, you know, to me, everything came back down to normal. The prices were just outrageous. I mean, everything flipped to LE. It was just a perfect storm. You know, nobody could get packs. The only way you could get moments was through the marketplace. Still kind of is, but I think the truth's somewhere in the middle. That's my stance.
Yeah, I think a big part of it, and, you know, I got to admit, I go through these phases where I'm super bullish, and then I get a little bit more – I question some things and wonder about the long term of it. Overall, you know, this product is here to stay. As long as the NBA is successful, Top Shot will be successful. And as we expand into different sports, you know, as long as the UFC is around, UFC flow will be a thing. So I'm not worried about that at all. But one of the things I tweeted out a while back was I thought that when people got access to withdrawals, right, they were going to look to sell and maybe take out what they initially put in, secure the bag a little bit, or just get out completely. There's a lot of debate on Twitter. You know, are you a hodler for life, or are you just, you know, trying to quick flip? And to be completely transparent, I got to say I'm somewhere in the middle. You know, I will look to flip and make a profit. I withdrew. I took my bag, but I still have, you know, 28 plus moments in Top Shot right now. I still have a lot riding on the success of Top Shot, and I'm here for it. You know, I want to see it happen. But I don't think there's anything wrong with playing both sides. Now, I know, you know, we call you Diamond Hands Phillips for a reason. What is your strategy? When would you look to sell ever?
Yeah, I think now, you know, seeing the market come back down to life, I realize I got to be a little bit more strategic with it. I can't just, you know, hold forever and everything's just going to go up right away. I got to get a little bit more strategic with it. And that's something that I've been doing, you know, in my downtime, is trying to figure out what my strategy will be. For now, I'm holding everything. I don't even have access to withdraw yet. So I think that part of it is, you know, I'm the holder for some of our challenge, you know, when we're going in with our two other buddies. I'm holding all those moments. So I'm doing a lot of gifting. So my account might be what they keep referring to as a bad actor, but hoping to get past that stigma. But yeah, I'm holding everything for now because I don't think you can go wrong with it. I think, you know, if you look, it just depends on how you view it, whether you want to be a short-term flipper, if you think it's, you know, more of a short-term game, or you're planning for the next 4, 5, 6 years. Because I think in 5 years, all these Series 1 and Series 2, you know, at most 15,000 LE, all those moments that I hold right now, you know, it's going to look pretty minuscule whenever there's 6, 7, 10 million people on the platform. You know, and who knows what the serial accounts are going to be up to. They're already up to 35,000 for commons. You know, yeah. I think the next iteration, we're going to be looking like 75 to 100,000. So I think, you know, if you're viewing it long-term, if you held, the floor is going to be higher than what it is now on almost every moment across the board for Series 1 and the Series 2 that got flipped to LE.
Yeah, and this is beta. Eventually, it won't be in beta. They'll be marketing, you know, they'll be marketing this just like any other business that's looking to maximize profits. This Bogdan will be taking this and he'll be marketing it. I saw they're having some European campaigns that they're planning. So, you know, I mean, this thing is going to continue to grow and it's going to continue to be successful. Up until this point, up until this most recent dip, any strategy you had in Top Shot was profitable. So, right. You know, no one's a pro and we're all figuring it out here. You brought up a good point, though. You talked about these challenges. And I think, first of all, you're not a bad actor. You're just the only one we trust to not sell anything, because if it was in my account, you know, I'm trying to go after this Zion MGLE right now, so I'd be selling everything. But we're doing a couple of challenges. Let's talk on those. We're doing the LaMelo Master Challenge. This is something that we decided to do from the beginning. We were actually ahead of the majority, I think, in deciding to do this instead of going back and buying some moments. But we had no idea what it was going to be like, how long it was going to take, how much commitment, I guess I would say,
Right.
is dedicated to it. So where we stand right now, presumably halfway through or a little bit more than halfway through, what are your thoughts on this Master Challenge?
I mean, I'm still a fan. LaMelo, it's hard because obviously he took an injury, and that's still being, I guess, second guessed. He might get a second opinion, might return at some point this year, but probably throws Rookie of the Year out the door. So obviously the moment itself is going to take a hit because of that. If it doesn't have that Rookie of the Year badge that we think it might long term. But at the same time, I don't want to say good in him being injured at all, because we don't wish that. But, the fact that he might only have 3 or 4, I think it's looking like it's trending towards 4 rookie moments for LaMelo Ball. The 2 that exist now, I believe there's already a third common minted to 35,000 that's yet to be released. And then the Master
I think
Challenge.
there's going to be a legendary too.
Okay.
I think I maybe Alan from Dapper, was teasing that in one of the Discords or Twitter or something. But I think there's going to be a legendary as well.
Okay.
But obviously, most people won't even be able to get that legendary moment.
Right. And just, in comparison to the guys like Halliburton and Edwards, he might have the least amount of moments out of the stars from this rookie class. So, while he might not win the Rookie of the Year, we get the bump for that. I think the scarcity from his rookie year moments is gonna help us long term with it. However we decide to proceed. I know I'm gonna convince you guys to hold as much as I can, but at the end of the day, my voice is only worth 25%, maybe a little bit more.
For sure. Yeah, man. We we often forget about the challenge. The little challenges that happen along the way, like the Luka, right? That's a pretty cool moment. Anthony Davis, it would be getting much more love if he wasn't injured. And here's a little sneak on Jokic, man. Now that Joel Embiid is hurt, LeBron's hurt, Jokic is leading his team in every statistical category. I'm not really sure what else defines a most valuable player. So there's a good chance that he wins MVP. Obviously, James Harden's putting up some stupid numbers, and Giannis is incredible as well. But Jokic is doing things that are just unheard of, especially for a guy who's 7 feet tall.
Right.
So what will be interesting to see is this cool cat Jokic, if he does win MVP, if that has any effect on it. I know big men don't get love on Top Shot. Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just the fact that they don't have the flashy plays. They're a little bit more dull. But yeah, they just definitely don't get as much love, in comparison to the guards, the point guards, and the, shiftier guys. But yeah, I think I bought a Jokic, I want to say about a month ago, because I saw he had a little bit of steam. I was doing some comparison with the PER statistics. I'm very analytically driven, in my day-to-day life and some of the things I do. So trying to convert that to Top Shot, I'm excited about that part, because there's going to be so many tools that people create about Top Shot that it's going to make my life easier and, eliminate the need for so many Google Sheets. But I was doing a little bit of comparison with the PER rankings, and, he was up in the top 3, but nowhere near priced that way in the market. So bought a little bit of Jokic to hopefully cash in if he did make an MVP push. And I mean, now he's the odds on favorite, So, we'll see. I think he will get a bump once he does hopefully win MVP.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with you there. Okay, so we're doing the Master Challenge. There are tons of other challenges happening right now. But the other one that we're doing, we did not do the Kevin Durant Seeing Stars Challenge. We decided pretty early on, though, that we wanted to go for this LeBron Seeing Stars Challenge, simply because LeBron is king of Top Shot. LeBron is king of the NBA. And if anything's going to hold value through any dip, it's going to be a LeBron moment. We have completed it. Now we just need to wait however many teens of days they decide to add on for this challenge as well. There are 6 challenges right now at this time.
Right.
Is that too many?
I think it's a little bit too many, and I think it's more than we'll see. I think long term, I think it'd be nice if they had 3 ongoing at the same time, almost at all times. One maybe be it legendary, one make it a rare, and one for a common moment. I think to have 3 together at the same time would be pretty interesting, and I think it would keep it fresh and keep it something that at all price points that people can get involved with. Not everybody has the the cash to throw around to get the MGLE challenge or the Cosmics from Series 1, but I think if you have it accessible at all price points, I think that's the long-term goal. So I think 6 is a little bit aggressive right now, and I'd like to see a little bit less.
Key on right now for me. Yeah, key on right now. I think we went from 1 or 2 challenges to 6, 7, including the Master Challenge, real fast. We pumped tons of moments into the market, which was needed, by the way.
Right.
Dapper didn't do anything wrong by doing this. I just think now everything got spread real thin, real quick. But as the users continue to grow, 6 might not be a lot in the future. But to hit on what you mentioned, I really like that they give us different price points, especially the Mike Conley challenge, because even though the Seeing Stars is common, it's still a pretty penny to complete the LeBron or even the Kevin Durant. So to have a challenge like the Mike Conley one, where it's like, hey, Mike Conley, every year, a great player, but doesn't carry that superstar name. You only need 5 moments for it. If you've never completed a challenge before and you want to go after it, it's very doable for anyone. So I like the different price points you mentioned. I think 6 is too many right now, but we'll just have to see what happens as time goes. So we'll kind of wrap it up here. Are there any other points that you want to hit on? Anything else that's happening right now? Any news? Anything that's got your eye?
No, not really. I mean, like you said, we skipped out on the Kevin Durant challenge, and we want to go for the LeBron challenge. I think we definitely dodged a little bit of a bullet because there was it was up in the air whether or not that would be, the same style where you're just collecting Team LeBron guys for his challenge, or if they were going to make the LeBron a master challenge, and we were going to be kind of caught holding our own bag at that point if that was the case, because I don't know if we would go all the way for the full master challenge. But
episode 1 would have been by my moments. We'd have been pumping. We'd have been getting rid of those real quick.
Right, exactly. But I think we dodged a bullet there. And yeah, obviously LeBron is Apple. He's going to go up with the marketplace. I don't personally have any LeBron. I've never pulled him in a pack, so I'm excited to get a piece of him. And I think the way we're doing it and going in together on it and getting out ahead of it, because we've seen with these challenges, as soon as they're announced, the prices can skyrocket. And I think we did a good job of buying low on this challenge specifically, since Kevin Durant was ongoing right now. We kind of said, nah, we'll pass right now, but buy low on the moments that make up the LeBron challenge.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll leave 2 teasers. I know I didn't plan to talk about some of the things that we were excited about in terms of special moments, but I do just want to mention one because it is, again, accessible for anyone, and is one that I think is undervalued simply because this guy's name just doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. I don't think Kawhi is the flashiest player. People overlook him, but this is just a random moment out of 15,000. It's a 3-pointer, which he's not really known for shooting threes either. But what's cool about it is it's his 10,000th career point.
Right.
And these milestones, I think, are going to make a difference one day, especially for a guy like Kawhi, who, is going to end up in the Hall of Fame and could have a few more titles by the time everything is said and done. Milestone moments might be pretty cool. So there's a little tease for you. And Tyler, I know you've been working on something in terms of these dips, and we've done a few challenges now about when you should complete it or not. So I'll let you tease a little bit about what we'll be talking next time about timing and challenges.
Right. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the challenge arc and, what we've seen from previous challenges, because seems like they're changing, but there tends to be one trend where, moments might increase X amount of days after a challenge, but we'll talk a little bit more about that on the next episode, and how you can, maybe time your either entry or exit point to these challenges. Because I mean, you can know everything you want about the moments, but if you don't time your entry or exit properly, then it's not going to make much of a difference. I think that's a very important aspect to this, but it's also probably the most challenging aspect because everything changes in Top Shot world daily.
No doubt. Okay, episode 1 of the JockChain, super successful here on the SpoFi network. We would please welcome any comments in the comments section, but even more so, interact with us on socials. We talk about building a community here at SpoFi. And part of the vision that we have is to be able to bring members of the community onto some of these recorded streams. We're going to be doing live streams as well. So we'd love to bring in members of the community live to continue some of these discussions and get more viewpoints than just us two sharing the same sort of ideas or differing opinions. We'd love to get some other voices in here. So like the video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on socials at SpoFi HQ. We have links in all of our socials to the Discord. We welcome all community members to be super active. We plan to engage with each of you, reply to comments, reply to tweets. So if there's anything you're curious about, anything you want us to cover in the next one, let us know. And we'll see you on episode 2 of the JockChain. But before then, we have the start of Major League Baseball season. So another show we'll be doing covering Major League Baseball. We'll get an episode out before opening day. We'll be recording that on Wednesday, talking about some season previews, talking about some DFS things that we're going to be doing, and we'll rock and roll.